So we talked last episode. One of Jake Lyon's questions was about like how do you fight back against a corrupt state, right? And one of the things that we talked about was civil disobedience. So
Yep.
I've been thinking about this a lot since we talked about that, partially because of Sam Adams' book and just all. I think it's a great concept.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
So then earlier this week, after we got coffee, we walked past the computer room, and Computer Dave said, "Hey."
He grabbed you for a minute.
He said, "Hey, did you hear what he said?"
No.
Okay, so he said, "Hey, just want to let you know, the tabs on your Toyota are expired."
Oh, word.
And I said, "Oh, I know." And he said, "Oh, I figured you did. I just want to make sure you did." So those ones, because I was driving Jordan's car that day, those ones expired in September of last year. It's been almost a year. I definitely know that they're expired. There's no question about this. We talked about a couple episodes before that, like why I wasn't getting my tabs done because as a small form of protest, but also because like I just don't even have the $120 at a given time to. Of course, I could put $20 aside a week, blah blah blah. I have $120. I'm not destitute, right? But as far as the money that flows in every week, I'm not in any hurry to pull $120 out of that and give it to you so that.
And just fork it over to
can
the state.
change. So nothing can change. So
Yeah.
you can print out a piece of paper and give me 2 stickers and say, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Because there is no effective difference, right? When you're registering your car, nothing is happening.
Oh, but that money goes to pay for the roads.
You've registered your car one time already when you bought it. You told them that you own it now. You had to get new license plates for it. All of that already happened.
Yes.
If you had to sell it to somebody else, they have to register it in their name if they want to get insurance on it. If they want to be able to do anything with the car, they have to tell the state that they're going to do it, right?
And I don't disagree with that aspect.
Yes.
Because you're changing property. I own this piece of property now.
Right. You're already doing it. Right. So as far as this yearly registration thing, and we've talked about the issues that we've had in our state in particular, how many times that the citizenry have voted to lower these rates, and the state has said, well, we just can't afford that. You guys are going to have to continue to eat this cost.
Yeah.
They've already told us to go fuck ourselves. Right?
Multiple times.
So as a cap to this was put together very well. And so
Thank you,
as
sir.
a cap to this, right, I am officially advocating for civil disobedience, particularly in ways that hinder or stop the state from continuing to extract wealth from you that they have no right to. So that's what I'm saying. That's precisely the point you're made. So this is what I'm telling you. I don't even care anymore. I'm telling you that this is the only way to defeat this, is to tell them that this doesn't make sense anymore. I'm not going to pay you for something that I already own. I will not pay you administrative fees that just go in your pocket. There is no sense to this. It doesn't affect anybody. All you are doing is stealing money from me. This is the only way this is done, is if people don't, if the money runs out, if they can't rely on this anymore as a pot to draw money from. We have to bankrupt them. That's the only thing that we can do, is deny them those funds. I only renew my tabs because I'm usually drunk driving and carrying without a permit. That's so.
Brian's the goat.
So that's another thing, right? That we talked about that as well. That's something that you and I have talked about. We talked about with some other animal men, some men that may or may not be named, but that's another thing. I have a concealed pistol license that's still good for
a minute.
a little bit longer. It expires June of next year. So I've been thinking for 2 years now, what am I going to do? Am I going to pay them another $50 for nothing to change? For nothing to be any different other than if I get pulled over, they know for sure that I have a gun on me, or they know for sure that they should ask if I have a gun on me because they have it in their system that I have a concealed pistol license, and therefore the likelihood is higher.
Yeah. And there's a couple things, right? The first thing is, as far as the nonviolent civil disobedience goes with the not paying for registration, right? A couple things on that. The fallout for that is very low. You're not looking at a federal gun charge that'll throw you in jail for 15 years or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Very different. So the consequences are low. And you have democracy on your side. Not that I'm a big fan of fucking democracy, because we, the people of the state, have voted multiple times to repeal all this bullshit. And then thanks to our future governor, the Attorney General, Bob Ferguson, he said, no, you forgot that apostrophe in here, so this whole vote is null and void anymore. The state has found a way to override the vote of the people. When we said we are not going to do this anymore, and the state said, fuck you, democracy doesn't count anymore, we get to do this anyways. So already you're justified on multiple levels at that point already. The gun stuff, it just gets hairier because you have to ask yourself, am I willing to go through the consequences of if and when this happens? Because there's lots of ways, like, not saying anybody should ever do this, all right, but like if you don't have a concealed carry permit, right, or you legally can't carry your car, your gun in your car or something like that. If you get pulled over, and it's sitting in your center console where nobody can see it in plain view, that the agent of the state technically has no cause to find out whether you have one or not in your car.
Right.
So you're probably pretty safe there. But
they can ask you. It's up to you. Then if you want to be honest about that or not,
But as far as the car tab thing goes, like the registration, I'm 1,000% on board with that. And
right. So without getting too specific with the examples, those are just ones that we've talked about readily on the show and that have come up frequently in my life. The real point and cap to that is that I feel that this is the truest and easiest and inherently non-violent way forward to try and dismantle an obviously and provenly corrupt state, is to deny them funds that they have no rights to. Yep. I'm not telling you to subject yourself to whatever. I'm telling you that's what I think is the way forward. Civil disobedience. Don't give in to this anymore. And we'll talk about this more a little bit later in the show. We talk about some potential lockdowns and stuff like that. But welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to eat everything.